It was around 1 p.m. on Friday, October 4, 2024, when panic broke out in Amazing Grace Estate, Community U, Lagos State. Thick smoke was rising from one of the apartments, the home of a young couple who had just married 3 months earlier. Neighbors, fearing the worst, rushed to help. Buckets of water, fire extinguisher, anything they could find, all in a desperate attempt to stop the fire before it spread. After several tense minutes, they managed to put out the flame. But what they found inside that apartment was something no one was prepared for. When the door was first opened, the scene inside was chilling. 30 years old Mr. Motolani was found with minor injuries, small cuts and stab wounds, standing dazed amidst the smoke, but his 25-year-old wife, Mrs. Olujumoke, lay lifeless on the floor, her body covered in multiple stab wounds to the abdomen. She was 6 months pregnant. At that moment, the neighbors realized this was no accident. This was a crime scene. Police were immediately called to the scene. Olujumoke was pronounced dead on arrival, while her husband was rushed to the hospital for treatment. Doctors later confirmed that his injuries were self-inflicted, a desperate attempt to make it look like he had been attacked. Once he was stable, he was taken into police custody. Just 3 months before his horrific event, Motolani and Olujumoke had celebrated their traditional marriage in July 2024, but then she was already 3 months pregnant. Many believe that the pregnancy may have prompted the sudden wedding, whether out of love or obligation, no one knows. But soon after their marriage, cracks began to appear. Motolani accused his wife of infidelity, claiming that the child she carried was not his, but belongs to his younger brother. No one knew what made him think that way, but what started as suspicion soon grew into obsession, argument, and violence. Friends and family noticed that something wasn't right. Olujumoke's mother often visited to mediate between them. During one of those visits, Motolani reportedly attacked his wife right in front of her mother. Instead of calling the police, her mother believed it was a spiritual problem. She thought her son-in-law was under a demonic influence, so she took him to a church for prayers and deliverance. They said he was set free, but just days after, he would do this unthinkable. On that Friday afternoon, neighbors heard the couples arguing again. It wasn't unusual. Their voice had become part of the background noise of the estate, but this time it was different. The shouting escalated and then silence. Moment later, the fire started. Inside the smoke-filled apartment, Motolani had grabbed a kitchen knife and stabbed his pregnant wife repeatedly in the stomach, ending her life and that of their unborn child. Then he inflicted minor injury on himself, possibly to fake a struggle and set the apartment ablaze, maybe to destroy evidence or perhaps out of panic. When questioned later, he confessed to the crime, but his motive remained unclear. Did he truly believe his wife had been unfaithful? Was he trying to cover his track, or was he struggling with mental instability as some had suspected? As of now, police investigation are still ongoing, but one thing is certain: a young woman, 6 months pregnant, lost her life in one of the most tragic domestic cases Lagos has ever seen in recent time. If you found this story disturbing but important, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for updates as this case continues to unfold. And remember, if you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship, please seek help before it is too late. Stay safe.